All right, let's jump right in. Most people hear starting an agency and they immediately think, you got to hire developers, learn to code, or spend months building something super complex. But here's the thing. There's a new playbook out there that's quietly making people 5 figures a month. And the craziest part? It requires absolutely zero technical skills to start. So today, we're going to break down exactly how people are building these $10,000 a month businesses by selling something they don't even build themselves. For the longest time, the idea of starting your own agency came with this massive, scary list of obstacles, right? We're talking huge costs, needing to be a tech wizard, finding employees. It was just a mountain to climb. But what if I told you that entire model is being completely flipped on its head? A new playbook is out there, and it is changing the entire game. I mean, this slide really says it all. Over on the left, you've got the old way. Complex code, needing a whole team, and just a ton of money to even get started. And then you look at the AI agency model. Zero code. You can do it as a solo founder. And the startup costs are, well, they're practically nothing. It's a massive, fundamental shift. So what is an AI agency in today's world? It's probably not what you think. See, these aren't people hunkered down, building custom GPTs or training these huge, complex AI models from the ground up. Nope, they're playing a much different, much smarter game. They're what we call automation consultants.
And here's the key thing you gotta understand. An automation consultant isn't an inventor. They are an expert assembler. They go out, find businesses with these really painful, repetitive problems, and then they solve them by just connecting the dots between existing AI tools. They're the bridge, the essential link between all this powerful AI and the businesses that desperately need it but have no time to figure it all out.
And we're not talking about some vague, abstract problems. Think about the real day-to-day grind. A real estate agent who spends like 3 hours every single day writing property descriptions, or a recruiter just mindlessly copying and pasting info from LinkedIn to a spreadsheet for hours, or that small business owner who has to manually post the same exact thing to 5 different social media sites. These are brutal, costly time sinks that businesses will happily, gladly pay someone to make disappear.
And here is the beautiful mechanic behind it all. This is where the magic happens. An AI agency owner charges a monthly fee, let's say anywhere from $500 to $2,000 a client. But here's the kicker. They are not doing the work by hand. They build an automated workflow one time, and then they can sell that exact same solution to client after client after client. This is how you scale a business without scaling your own hours. It's a total game changer.
Okay, that all sounds great in theory, but let's talk about the actual numbers, right? Let's talk money. This is where it gets really, really interesting. And we're not talking about some Twitter gurus here. We're looking at real people running real profitable businesses with this exact model. So, check this out. There's an agency in the UK that focuses only on estate agents. They have 12 clients, and each one pays them £800 a month. That's almost £10,000 a month in revenue. Then there's another one in the US targeting SaaS founders. With just 5 clients paying $1,500 each, they're pulling in $7,500 a month. And a lot of them do it part-time. The pattern is so clear. Pick a niche, solve one painful problem, charge a monthly fee, and just repeat. And this is the number that just might stop you in your tracks. 90%. Yup, because the overhead is so incredibly low, we're just talking about a few software subscriptions, the net profit margin is insane. You're not paying for inventory or shipping or a big team. Almost all of that revenue goes straight into your pocket.
I mean, just look at this chart for that UK agency. It makes it so obvious. You see that massive bar for revenue at nearly £10,000? Now look at that tiny little bar for cost next to it. Just £200 for software. That giant gap between the two? Yeah. That's pure profit. It perfectly illustrates just how crazy efficient this business model can be. So you gotta be asking, why is this blowing up right now? Well, it's basically a perfect storm of 3 things coming together. First, the tools. GPT-4, Zapier, Make. They're not just toys anymore, they're super reliable. Second, every small business owner out there knows they should be using AI, but they're swamped. They don't have the time to learn it. And third, and this is the big one, the value isn't in building the software anymore. The real value has shifted to knowing how to assemble all the pieces in the right way. Okay, so let's turn all of this into an actual plan. We've talked about the what and the why, so now let's get our hands dirty with the how. What would you actually have to do to land your first client and get this thing off the ground? First off, let's talk setup costs. If you wanted to start this business tomorrow, you would need a laptop, an internet connection, and maybe 50 to $100 for your first month of software. That is it, seriously. No office, no employees, no inventory, no ads. Your very first client could easily pay for your entire setup for the whole year.
Now, here's a huge trap you have to avoid. So many people make this mistake. They try to be everything to everyone, and they launch with this super vague offer like AI automation for businesses. That is a recipe for disaster. It's way too broad, no one thinks you're talking to them, and you just get completely lost in the noise. The winning play is the complete opposite. You pick a tiny little micro niche and you just own it. So instead of AI for businesses, you offer AI for divorce lawyers. Instead of content creation, you do content systems for Shopify stores. When you get that specific, you learn their language, you learn their exact pain points, and you become the no-brainer obvious choice. And trust me, word travels fast in those little communities. So what does this journey really look like? Well, month 1, your only goal is to learn one specific workflow and land just one pilot client for maybe $500, get a great testimonial. Month 2, you just add one more client. By month 6, it's totally realistic to have 10 clients paying you an $800 retainer. And just like that, you're at $8,000 a month from a system you built once.
Now, let's be real for a second. We have to be honest here. This is not some get-rich-quick passive income thing from day one. It's so important to understand that this business has 2 very different phases. First comes the hustle, and then comes the scale.
I know what you're thinking. This all sounds a little too good to be true. So what's the catch? The catch is this. The first 3 months are pure heads-down hustle. You're learning the tools, you're actively out there selling, you're fixing workflows when they inevitably break, and you're figuring out how to talk to clients. But after that initial grind, around month 6, it turns into a completely different business. You go from doing the labor yourself to simply managing the automations you've built. Your time spent per client actually goes down, not up. So after hearing all that, you might be asking yourself, is this actually for me? Well, here's a quick checklist. Ask yourself, are you pretty comfortable with tech, but maybe not a coding genius? Do you actually like solving puzzles and problems? Can you explain your ideas clearly to someone who's not technical? And maybe most important of all, are you patient enough to grind through those first 3 months? If you're nodding your head yes, this could seriously be a perfect fit. Okay, let's wrap all this up by boiling it down to the single most important idea from this whole explainer. This is the core insight, the key to understanding why this whole model just works so incredibly well right now. And this is it. Value is no longer in building the software from scratch, it's in knowing how to assemble it. The AI agency model sits at this perfect intersection. It's incredibly valuable to clients, it costs almost nothing to deliver, it's truly scalable, and you need basically zero capital to get started. The question isn't whether it's possible anymore, it's who's going to grab this opportunity.